All right, so for our ad model, we decided to use Moriarty's domain. And Moriarty's domain differs from the other ones that we use in class, the think, feel, do, and the I8 or 80, whatever it's called, 801. The Moriarty's domain says that when we watch an ad, we learn, perceive, and are persuaded all simultaneously, unlike the other two, which say that you do it step by step in your thinking process. So for our first ad, we decided to use the M&M Chrysler commercial, which aired during this past Super Bowl.
I got a question for you. What does this city know about luxury? What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life? Well, I'll tell you, more than most. You see, it's the hottest fires that make the heart steam. That hard work and conviction, and the know-how that runs generations deep in every last one of us. That's who we are. That's our story. Now, it's probably not the one you've been reading in the papers. The one being written by folks who've never even been here, don't know what we're capable of. Because when it comes to luxury, it's as much about where it's from as who it's for. Now, we're from America, but this isn't New York City, or the Windy City, or Sin City, and we're certainly no one's Emerald City.
This is what we do.
I'm going to talk about the terms of the learning part in the MAF Chrysler commercial. This commercial represents a kind of reality in the Detroit and talks about how the Chrysler does for the American rules in the car production. So when we watch this commercial, we can learn how they feel when they struggle with their current situation. And this commercial concludes a word that imported from Detroit. This shows that Detroit City is a symbol of American car production in the U.S. and how they came to be. In addition, the narrator says, we are from America, but this is not New York City, or Windy City, or Sin City, and we are certainly no one's Emerald City. This words gives a strong impression that the Detroit may not be a city where the people purchase brand items, enjoy the nightclub, and try to relax in the casino. But Detroit is a city which produces a good car. So it seems like they are proud of their car production. And the Chrysler wants their customers to think they are one of the main car production in the US. Next, Kitty is going to talk about the constitution part.
So for perception, we start with awareness that makes an impression on the target audience. That would be younger, maybe males, if they can relate to M&M. M&M's popular, and Chryslers aren't typically popular with younger children, so or younger teens. They're trying to target another audience. It grabs your attention with the music, and you immediately think, you hear his song in the beginning, and then you start to think of M&M, and M&M's kind of an underdog. He represents achievement. It also, you see patriotism in the sign that says "Keep Detroit Beautiful," where symbolism, you see a flag, this assigns a meaning of patriotism to buying Chrysler. If you stick with Chrysler, it brings a sense of pride and unity amongst Americans. This was also displayed during the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl in football is, America's game. So it brings pride and it's targeted a lot towards men, Motor City, and that's about it.
As for the Chrysler persuasion aspect, recently we've fallen into a recession resulting in loss of jobs and a struggling economy. And the next step in the business cycle is the recovery process, in which we have to have our economy prosper and get better. And Moriarty's domains and the learning, perception, persuasion basically all go hand in hand. And so like you can see like parts of what Katie was talking about in the persuasion aspect. So for the most part, I think there's a clear symbol, like Bruce said. At the end it says imported from Detroit to show you that it's a good American car, and Detroit is a city where they produce good American cars. And this basically, as Katie said also, has a sense of patriotism. They're trying to convince the consumer that if you buy a Chrysler, you'll be benefiting America, benefiting our economy, producing more jobs. And as for the facets, there's a sense of motivation because foreign car brands like Toyota are trying to emulate Chrysler by starting production in America, trying to get American consumers to buy their product. But however, they don't have like an opinion leader like Eminem, who basically came up from nothing in Detroit, and now he's like a big icon in the media. And Eminem also, as an opinion leader, carries a lot of bandwagon appeals. And all in all, there's like, the consumers agree, and there's like a conviction is formed. And basically, I feel as though for the persuasion aspect, Chrysler's kind of hoping that you recognize their brand loyalty. And like, I feel like they're trying to be like the Chevy in their earlier days. Like all Americans wanted to buy a Chevy before, but then it was foreign cars, and now that we've been through a recession and we're starting to recover, they want you to buy Chrysler as the Chevy of our new era. And that's about it.
Okay, so our next ad is a Pine Sol commercial, which also aired during this past week.
That smells clean.
That's the power of Pine Sol, baby.
Hi.
Alright, so yeah, that was our band commercial.
Okay, so for the learning part, there isn't much learning in the ad because the commercial lacks the info describing benefits of Pine Sol to the audience. And the ad tries to sell the product just based on how clean it smells, and also doesn't contrast it to other cleaning brands. So that's why it's like, that's what there's no learning aspect of this commercial. For perception. Perception is all about making an impression on the audience, but this ad doesn't do that because it doesn't arouse much interest or appeal. This is especially so because the ad lacks a lot in the learning aspect, and audiences tend to learn. Be more impressed by an ad if they learn something from it. There's also a comical feel to it to help those that view the ad to grab their attention, but it is not strong enough to be imprinted in their mind and be cultured. That's why there's no perception.
For persuasion,
it's not really persuading you to do anything. All you know about it is that it smells good. And they rely really heavily on the brand equity and the loyalty of it. It doesn't explain anything. It doesn't have like the 99% clean, you know, like the other ones that explain what it is and what they do and how it's better than others. And for all we know, it could be, you know, something that wakes up somebody from a coma, or it could be like the music that wakes somebody up from a coma. Like, it doesn't really say what it is.
How the Pine Sol ad could have been improved. Instead of using the spokesperson Diane Amos to sell this product, which was the lady behind the curtain, they could have used somebody that was comical, like just as comical as her, but still fit like a homekeeper demographic. Like, for example, maybe like Kelly Ripa, and it doesn't really explain what Pine Sol is specifically for, like we said, rather than just a clean smell. And of course, like a cleaning product has to have a clean smell, or else like who really wants to buy a terrible smelling product? You could compare the product to competitors and like list the pros and cons of like each one. So like maybe at the beginning of the commercial, they could have had the janitor in a janitor's closet with a Pine Sol bottle and a generic brand, and have him read the Pine Sol facts, read the generic brand facts, and then throw the generic brand out, and then continue on with the commercial, because that would have maintained the comical appeal, and at the same time, it would have been more factual, and it would have fit the learning aspect of Moriarty's domains. And another thing I wanted to point out was it didn't do a good job selling the product, because Rue is actually from Japan, and like from seeing that commercial, he didn't really know what it was. Like, it didn't really give him any facts, and they obviously don't have Pine Sol in Japan, or at least it's not as common. So it didn't really strive to appeal to its consumers. No, that's all.